Imagine being stuck indoors for months on end with no social interaction or digital distractions. Sounds tough, doesn't it? It's a scenario many of us take lightly, but the truth is, prolonged isolation can have a profound effect on the human mind. Numerous scientific studies have highlighted the psychological toll of isolation. People are social creatures by nature. When we're stripped of our social connections, our mental health can quickly deteriorate. We can experience symptoms such as anxiety, depression, and even hallucinations. It's not just a matter of feeling lonely, it's about the brain being deprived of its usual stimuli, leading to a range of cognitive and emotional challenges. This is why isolation can be a survival killer. So how can we prepare for this harsh reality? It starts with understanding and accepting the potential impacts of isolation. We need to develop strategies to maintain our mental health in such circumstances. Firstly, establish a routine. The predictability can provide a sense of normalcy and control. This routine could include physical exercise, which not only keeps you fit but also helps to release chemicals in your brain that make you feel happier and more relaxed. Secondly, engage in mentally stimulating activities. This could be anything from reading books, playing games, to learning a new skill. This helps to keep your mind active and reduces the risk of cognitive decline. Confidence is good, but overconfidence can lead to disaster. Now let's talk about a problem that's all too common in the prepping community: overconfidence. It's easy to feel invincible when you've got a basement full of canned goods and a bug-out bag ready to go. But the reality is, no matter how prepared you think you are, there's always something you haven't accounted for. Overconfidence can make us dangerously underestimate potential challenges, while simultaneously overestimating our own capabilities. We may think we can survive on canned beans and filtered rainwater indefinitely, but when the time comes, we may find ourselves ill-prepared to face the harsh realities of long-term isolation. There's a saying, the more you learn, the less you realize you know. This couldn't be truer in the world of prepping. Every new skill you acquire, every new piece of gear you add to your arsenal, only highlights the countless other areas where you're lacking. So how can we combat this overconfidence problem? The answer is simple, yet challenging. Test your strategy. And I mean really test it. Try living off your stored food for a week. See how long you can go without running water. Experience the challenges of maintaining hygiene and sanitation without the convenience of modern plumbing. This isn't about scaring you or making you feel inadequate. It's about helping you become truly prepared. Testing your resilience and preparedness now in a controlled environment will give you invaluable insights into your strengths and weaknesses. It will help you identify areas where you need to improve and give you the confidence that when the time comes, you'll be ready. The goal isn't to become complacent in our preparation, but to become competent. Overconfidence can lead to disaster, but a realistic understanding of our capabilities, coupled with a willingness to continually learn and adapt, can lead to survival. Remember, it's not the strongest or the most intelligent who survive, but those who are most adaptable to change. So let's adapt, let's learn, and let's prepare. Testing your resilience and preparedness now can save you when disaster strikes. When we think of survival, we often neglect one crucial aspect: sanitation. It's easy to overlook, isn't it? We're so used to our convenient modern systems that we forget how vital they are until they're gone. But let's get real here. When disaster strikes, your morning shower routine is going to be the least of your problems. In a long-term bug-in situation, poor sanitation can quickly become your silent enemy. Imagine your home, your sanctuary, turning into a breeding ground for bacteria and disease. Sounds terrifying, right? It's not just about the unpleasant stench or unsightly mess, it's about the very real, very dangerous health risks that come with inadequate waste management. So, how can we combat this unseen killer? It's all about smart planning and practical solutions. For starters, consider your waste disposal. You'll need a system that's safe, sustainable, and as odor-free as possible. A composting toilet could be an excellent solution. It's simple, eco-friendly, and can even turn waste into useful compost for your survival garden. But it's not just about human waste. What about rubbish? Rotting food scraps and other garbage can attract pests and create a whole new set of problems. Make sure you have a plan for secure trash storage and disposal. And let's not forget personal hygiene. Sure, you won't be winning any beauty contests during a disaster, but staying clean is about more than just looking good. Regular hand washing, for example, is one of the most effective ways to prevent the spread of disease. Consider stocking up on hygiene essentials like soap, toothpaste, and even baby wipes for those times when a full bath isn't an option. Remember to include cleaning supplies for your living area too. Diluted bleach, for instance, can be a powerful disinfectant in a pinch. Remember, cleanliness isn't just about comfort, it's a matter of life and death. Beans, rice, canned goods, they're all good, but are they enough? Let's dive into the hidden weaknesses in your food storage. You see, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that stockpiling non-perishable items is enough. But here's the kicker. Survival isn't just about having enough to eat, it's about having the right things to eat. Over time, a diet consisting only of beans, rice, and canned goods can lead to nutrient deficiencies. And these deficiencies can have serious consequences, from fatigue and impaired immune function to poor wound healing and cognitive decline. In a survival situation, these aren't just inconveniences, they can be downright dangerous. So, what's the solution? Diversity. Your food storage should reflect the diversity of nutrients your body needs to function optimally. This includes a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats. But wait, how can you store fresh fruits and vegetables for the long term? That's where seeds come into play. Seeds are a compact, long-lasting source of nutrition that can be stored for years and sprouted or planted when you need them. Not only do seeds provide a source of fresh, nutrient-dense food, but they also offer a sustainable solution for long-term survival scenarios. Imagine having a continuous supply of fresh greens, herbs, and vegetables right at your fingertips. Growing your own food also provides a sense of purpose and a daily task, which can be incredibly beneficial for your mental health during a crisis. It's a way to feel productive, to feel connected to the earth, and to maintain a sense of normalcy amidst chaos. So don't just stockpile cans and bags of rice. Start thinking about how you can diversify your food storage and incorporate seeds into your survival plan. Remember, a balanced diet isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. A balanced diet is crucial for maintaining your health and energy levels during a crisis. We need fuel for cooking, heating, and lighting, but how much do we really need? That's a question that often gets overlooked, even by seasoned preppers. Many of us might have a stack of firewood or a couple of propane tanks and think we're all set. But when you're hunkered down for the long haul, you'd be surprised how quickly those resources can dwindle. Let's take cooking, for instance. A meal that takes an hour to cook on a wood stove can easily consume a couple of pounds of wood. Multiply that by 3 meals a day and you're looking at 6 pounds of wood. Now extend that over a week, a month, or even longer. You're talking about hundreds, if not thousands of pounds of wood just for cooking. And that's not even taking into account the fuel you'll need for heating, especially if you're bugging in during colder months, or the fuel needed for lighting, which becomes even more critical when the power grid is down and nights are pitch black. So what can you do to avoid running out of fuel? Well, the first step is to calculate your fuel needs realistically. Don't just guess, do the math, taking into consideration all your fuel needs, not just for a day or a week, but for months. Once you have a realistic estimate, the next step is to stockpile enough fuel. But remember, storing large quantities of fuel, especially flammable ones like gasoline or propane, can be dangerous, so it's essential to store it safely, following all safety guidelines. But here's the thing, even with the best planning, there's a chance you might run out of fuel. That's why it's critical to have alternative fuel sources. Solar cookers, for instance, can help reduce your reliance on traditional fuel for cooking. Insulating your living space can help minimize heating needs. And battery-powered or solar-powered lights can help save on lighting fuel. Remember, fuel is a finite resource. Use it wisely. Guns and ammo can provide security, but they aren't the only things you need. While firearms may be a cornerstone of many prepper strategies, they can only do so much to keep you safe in a long-term lockdown situation. Let's face it, bullets can run out, guns can jam, and not every threat can be solved with a trigger pull. The last thing you want is to be caught off guard when desperate people come knocking at your door. So, what's the solution? It's all about layered security. Think of it like an onion, each layer adding another level of protection to your bug-in location. The outermost layer is the perimeter. Fencing, natural barriers, even strategically placed thorny bushes can deter potential threats. Visible security measures act as a deterrent, making your home a less attractive target. Security cameras, even non-functioning ones, can give the illusion of a well-guarded property. The next layer is the structural integrity of your home. Reinforced doors and windows and sturdy locks can prevent or at least delay forced entry. These physical barriers buy you precious time, allowing you to react appropriately to the situation. Remember, a locked door is better than an armed confrontation. Then there's the innermost layer. That's where your firearms come into play. They serve as your last line of defense when all else fails. But having a gun doesn't automatically ensure your safety. Regular training, maintenance, and safe storage are crucial to effective firearm use. And let's not forget about the human element of security. Building relationships and alliances with your neighbors can be an invaluable asset. There's strength in numbers, and in a long-term survival scenario, a united community can ward off larger threats. Also, consider non-lethal defensive tools like pepper spray, stun guns, or even a good old baseball bat. They provide an alternative means of protection and could be the difference between life and death. Remember, true security doesn't come from the barrel of a gun, but from a comprehensive, well-thought-out plan. As the saying goes, the best fight is the one you avoid. True security comes from preparation, not just firepower. Your gear is important, but your mental strength is even more crucial. Imagine being confined to a small space with limited supplies and no contact with the outside world. Sounds like a gritty survival movie, right? Well, this scenario could become a harsh reality during a long-term disaster. The mental game is more important than your gear. It's the ability to stay calm, focused, and rational when everything around you is chaotic. It's about maintaining your sanity when every day feels like Groundhog Day. It's a mental marathon, and it requires preparation just like any physical challenge. Being confined for extended periods can lead to psychological pitfalls. Cabin fever is real, my friends. It's not just about boredom, it's a complex mix of restlessness, irritability, and even depression. It's the unease that creeps in when you're cut off from the world, the itch to get outside, the longing for human interaction. Then there are the emotional stressors, the constant worry about your food and water supplies running out, the fear of the unknown, the guilt of not being able to provide for your family. These emotions can be overwhelming and can cloud your judgment, leading to potentially disastrous decisions. In a disaster, staying connected is as important as staying informed. Consider it. You're isolated, cut off from the world, and suddenly, the silence becomes deafening. Without communication, you're not just physically alone, you're mentally alone too. It's a chilling reality that can chip away at your resolve. And it's not just about getting updates or sending distress signals. Communication is about human connection. It's about knowing you're not alone in this fight. It's about sharing, exchanging ideas, and brainstorming solutions. It's about hope. So, how do you stay connected when the grid goes down? You go old school. Consider learning Morse code or investing in ham radios. And don't underestimate the power of signals and signs. They can be a beacon for other survivors. Remember, in times of crisis, it's not the strongest who survive, but those who adapt. In a crisis, communication is not a luxury, it's a necessity.